Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be working on something familiar, but in a different design. I've had several requests on my Instagram when I posted this to show how this design was done. So I'm going to show you just a quick run through of how I accomplished this iced coffee and dog's tumbler. As usual, we're starting out with a prepped and spray painted base. I used Candy Pink from Rust-Oleum, and I'm using the epoxy method to apply this glitter. This is called Bubbly Toes from Peachy Glitters. I will link my discount code in the description box below. You're gonna coat that liberally and then let that sit to dry. And I'm using a medium viscosity epoxy to coat this, so I only needed one coat before I went in with my vinyl work. Once that epoxy is dry, I'm gonna go right into the rim work using my Dremel to buff back that pokey rim, and then I'm going to make sure to sand my bottom edge as well. And then we're gonna go in with this pink vinyl that I've got from Peachy Olive as well, and I'm gonna use my tool from the Amy's Make Everything. This is to draw straight lines, so I'm just gonna use my thin fine point Sharpie to kind of mark off where I want the top of the vinyl to sit. I try to do a little bit more or less than half of the cup. I don't, for whatever reason, my brain doesn't like half and half tumblers with the vinyl and the glitter. So I always do probably a little bit more than a third of the bottom portion in vinyl, and then a little bit less than 2/3 on top for the glitter. So I'm gonna cut that off once I get an idea of how big I want it, and we're gonna lay the vinyl down using the hinge method, cutting back about 1 inch of the backing, and then we're going to adhere that to the tumbler, press the vinyl on while simultaneously pressing the backing off of it. Once you get to the seam, you're gonna run a sharp tool or a fingernail or something to kind of score where that seam meets, and then you're gonna go in with your X-Acto and cut that off. Next, I'm going in with my line work. I'm going to pull the SVG into Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to offset it. It doesn't come with an offset from the file that I purchased from Etsy, so I'm going to create an offset of 0.050. And then once I've got those connected, I'm gonna make sure that the decal in total with the offset is going to be 4 inches wide. And then I'm gonna cut my gold vinyl stripes at 11.5 width by 0.08 height. And I'm not doing a coat of epoxy over the vinyl work. I'm going to lay this gold vinyl striping right above it. So I want the bottom edge of that gold vinyl to be flush to the top of the pink vinyl. I don't want to overlap them because there's not a coat of epoxy between the two of them. If you're laying that gold metallic vinyl over top of that pink vinyl, you're going to see the kind of where it lays underneath it. So the seam of the pink vinyl will show underneath the metallic vinyl. So just make sure if you're not doing a coat of epoxy between those two, that you are being super careful with the vinyl work and you're laying it above it. If you're going in with epoxy, you don't need to worry about that. You can lay it right over that seam. Next, we're going in with this decal. I'm using this baby pink that I got from Tech Wrap Craft. I'm going to lay that over top of the gold vinyl. And just like I showed you guys last week, when working with metallic or holographic vinyl, when I'm peeling the transfer tape back, I'm trying to make sure that the transfer tape is as flush to the cup as possible while I'm pulling it back. That's going to prevent lifting between the two vinyls since there's not a coat of epoxy to adhere both of them down. So this one lifted just a little bit. If that happens, it's totally fine. You guys can just score the top layer of that vinyl if you have bubbles or anything like that. If pressing them out with your squeegee doesn't work, if you just poke little holes in where the bubbles are, that will press that air out. Because I'm doing an offset and I'm working with metallic vinyl, I'm going to make sure to put a coat of polycrylic over this before I go in with my final coats of epoxy. That's just going to prevent that metallic vinyl from lifting and bubbling. And once that polycrylic is fully dry, I'm just going to go in with 2 final coats of medium viscosity glitter, and this tumbler is done. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you would like to join my makers group on Facebook, I will link that in the description box as well, and I will see you guys next weekend.